you under a lot of pressure right now trying to get to the new Earth? If you have lost your job and are in a brand new situation, being thrown out in what feels like the middle of the ocean, and you're trying to swim, uh, that can be a difficult thing to adjust to adapt to. Well, I am here to tell you that there is a way to make it work, even in the most chaotic, crazy time. What feels like can be never ending, there is a way that it can change. And one thing that we really need to do is believe that it will. Hello, my name is Heidi, and if you noticed, my YouTube channel name is Fly May. And Fly May was actually originated from the word, I flipped it around, but it's the mayfly. I don't know if you've heard of the mayfly. The mayfly is an insect that lives for 24 hours, and the males can live for up to 48 hours, but the females only live for one day. And just imagine what we can do if we had just one day to live. How would you live it? I tried to apply that to my life every single day, as if this day was my last day, and what can I do to live it to the fullest and to the best? During these changes in life, I quit my 9-to-5 job, and it wasn't because I wanted to. I actually really enjoyed the job. It was extremely tedious. It involved a lot of counting and numbers, and I did move up pretty quick in this job, just because I wanted to learn more. I had the desire to learn so much more, and my boss was just really excited that I was learning jobs that he didn't even do until 12 years after he worked there. So it was really an accomplishment for me to have moved so quickly in that job. And but when the safety precautions came, it was like a 49-page of all these different safety precautions, and my job was already tedious. It involved a lot of counting and organizing and memorizing and numbers, and I worked on the computer, and I moved around the warehouse. It was just, it was a lot. And then adding on the 49 pages of new safety precautions was unreasonable. And being dropped into it, I couldn't think very quickly. I had to take a little while to think about it. Adding somebody on to the job probably would have been, the best solution. But by the time I came up with that idea, it was already too late and my job was already gone. So after that, I cleaned out my apartment and moved out, and I am here at my mom's. And it's been quite the adjustment because, being in my apartment where I had my own space, and, we all know what it's like if you've ever had to move in with somebody else, and, you're under their roof and under a different schedule, and adjusting to being around people and being in somebody else's environment. That can be a difficult thing to adjust to. Especially like with my sleeping schedule. Like, I'm an early bird, so I like to go to bed early. Sometimes I'll be to bed by 8 o'clock, and I'll wake up at 4:30 in the morning. So here you are in this new environment. Sometimes it feels like you've just been tossed into the middle of the ocean, and you're thinking to yourself, how can I get to this new Earth? How can I swim when I'm in the middle of the ocean? How can I swim and get all the way back to this island, to this new Earth, this fifth dimension, the place where I desire to be, where I truly belong? And, you're in the middle of the ocean, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, oh my, what am I going to do? But then, you think about it, and you're like, okay, what am I doing first? I'm panicking first. That's what I'm doing. I'm panicking right now. And, once we know that we're panicking, then we can say, okay, now I can calm down. Now I can just take a deep breath, and I can float in the water for a minute and think about what I can do next. And then get back to it. Start swimming again. Like, hey, I'm moving. I'm going somewhere. And then, you're like, okay, well, something else is just not feeling right. Let's see. Let's just take a rest and float. Take a deep breath, and let's think about what we're going to do next. And then start swimming again. And it's okay for things to be that way. It's okay to just take a little deep breath, take a breather, take some time to, look through those little pieces and connect them slowly. So what do you do when you don't really have a whole lot of control over the environment that you're in? You try really hard to get your mindset where you want it to be, but the environment that you're in, you don't have control over. And sometimes we can be put in a situation where that happens to us. We're looking for the best. We're searching for the best. We're reaching for the best. We want the best for ourselves. We believe in ourselves. So the environment that we're placed in is not so easy to adjust to. And, we can't always say, well, you just gotta, it's all about your mindset. Like, yeah, your mindset, yes, it is. You're right. But the environment that we don't have control over can be so hard to work around. And, you really got to start getting creative with how you're going to move and get through this hectic part of your life. And how can you do that? Well, you can start by just seeking and searching for all of those positive messages, all of those positive mentors. The lighting is just like beaming behind me. Oh, just and searching and looking for that guidance, seeking for that guidance, and knowing that it's out there, people out there who are willing to help, people who are there to support you get through this. Honestly, I didn't think that my situation here was going to change. I had to really, really, really pray and really believe that the situation that I was in would change to open a new door so I can keep moving forward. And, it got to a point where I felt like I needed to drive out to the mountains and live in my van to find some peace and quiet and to really just sit down and focus on what it is that I needed to change, what I wanted to change. I couldn't change my, but then I didn't have any Wi-Fi, and, I have to, we really got to think realistically. I have to think realistically about this. So, and, we know that the world is kind of turning into a digital communication, all different kinds of changes in the world, and staying connected is really important. So, going out and escaping in the mountains probably wasn't a permanent solution. I really didn't think that the situation that I was in was going to change, but it did. And I'm extremely grateful for that. And was like really, really, really beaming behind me, so I figured it would probably be a good time to move. Sometimes the universe will put us in a situation where it is hectic, and we've got to start thinking, the universe put me here for a reason. What tools do I have? What can I do? How can I help? How can I change my situation? And sometimes the situation, the environment that you're in, you don't have control over that. You don't have control over the people that you're around. Your other options just aren't realistic. Living in the mountains or staying in a house where you have your own room. You have to weigh those options. Know that it's up to us to change our mindset. We know that it is up to us to make the best of any situation or any difficulty that is handed to us. And do we want that? No. Is it easy to get through? No. We can't just, I'm not playing a victim or just saying, oh, like everything is so bad. But really, when it comes down to it, realistically, sometimes we can be put in a situation where we are entirely uncomfortable. And we've got to get really, really creative with how we're going to get through this and how we're going to make the best of it. I preferred to watch and observe different people's reactions and different people's responses and how they act and how they connected with other people. I would observe that, and observing, you can even start feeling their different emotions and their different ways of responding, and because you observe it and you're like, okay, like this is that, and this is how they this is how they respond to this. And so it's really cool. It's really cool to have that talent, but it can also be difficult to have, especially like if you are a physical empath and you can feel other people's emotions. And sometimes, like if you're, and usually a lot of people like that, they prefer, or they enjoy spending more time by themselves, because they can just sit with their own feelings and emotions. And not all the time, I'm not saying we like to isolate ourselves all the time, but it is sometimes a big crowd can be a little overwhelming, because you can really start feeling all different kinds of and it's good to be around that positive energy. That's the energy that we all strive for. That's what we want. That's we want to be in that place that makes us feel good. We want to be in a place that motivates us, that makes us want to grow, and that helps other people. And and we're all investing into each other for the better. And but if you are in an environment where it's the complete opposite, you've got to get really creative with where you want to go and where you want to take it. And so don't feel, and sometimes that can be a lot of pressure, because you're reaching so hard, you're trying so hard to get to this new earth, to this new, to this new fifth dimension. But the environment that you're in, which you don't have control over, is really just creating a lot of resistance, because you're like fighting so hard to get to where you want to go, and you're just like pushing through all the negative energy that just keeps slapping you in the face. And you're like, come on, like something has got to change. And it did for me. It did for me. Finally, it did. Um, the household here is a little more clear, which is really nice. Um, and I didn't think that it would. I really didn't. And I really just had to believe that it would, even though I didn't think it would. I still had to believe that it would. And that can really weigh us down. But when you get there, you will get there. We will get there. We will eventually get to this place, this destination of just freedom and love. And it's there for us. It's coming, and we're going there. And even though the environment that we could possibly be in, whether we lost our job, or and put in a situation where we're just completely turned upside down, things are even hectic at work, if you are still working, but the things there at work have changed, and you just don't know if you can keep up with the pace. um, just know that good things are coming. We have to believe that they will. And they will. It did for me. It did, even though it was the smallest thing. The smallest thing can actually create the bigger things for our. It just knocked down a whole wall. And here I am, being able to walk through, and it's amazing. And I believe that it can happen for you guys. I'm just really excited that I got this whole new day, and then the rest of this week to focus and concentrate on creating this new earth that that we all want to get to, and we'll get through it. And fall is almost here. Like, I can't believe summer's almost over. And it's fall's gonna be great. It's gonna be exciting. It's my favorite season. I love all the fall leaves and all the colors. It's my favorite. And I hope everybody's doing well, and enjoying the last bit of summer that we have left. And take care. Bye.